Oh, it's a beautiful day to go play with my Johnson. All right, well, off to another man's driveway to go rub up on my Johnson for a few hours. See if I can tug on it enough to get it to start going. All right, so I got myself my typical monsters. What I thought was a breakfast burrito. That's not a breakfast burrito. That's a hot dog. So why they're serving hot dogs? It's 8 a.m. like on the dot here. You know what? We ball, and I do love me a hot dog. So I guess I'm gonna be eating wieners on my way to go fondle my Johnson. Get ready for a lot of that. To go maybe grab a little bit, but tug on my Johnson and see if I can get her to pop. I'll tell you what, it's a rare day when you get to roll up on such a nice Johnson in another man's yard. Hot dog. That's a good looking Johnson right there. Wouldn't you say, Chad? Is that a good looking Johnson?
Yeah, and I was able to get it off with only 2 hands, so that was good.
You got this Johnson off with 2 hands.
Yeah, it took 2 hands.
2 hands to get this Johnson off.
I'm glad this fucker's got neutral on it.
Yeah, it is it's a big Johnson.
Also, don't push off the track.
I'm gonna go into my shop and play with my Johnson, and you guys are gonna watch. Okay, there's the Arctic cat that cleaned up really nice, and here's my nice big Johnson. Yeah, I'm gonna take a bunch of stuff off and probably get the carburetor out of this thing, and yeah, go from there. First things first, though, I'm gonna see if I can get a fire lit in here because it's cold. It's a little chilly willy. Okay, so the carburetor on these. This is an OMC opposed twin cylinder, 438 or 70 cubic inches. I can't remember cubic inches. CC opposed twin. They make about 30 horsepower. So by no means is this thing a rocket ship. It is a workhorse though, and it was designed and built like one. So a couple things that need to be done. I'm gonna get that carburetor off there because I do know this will pop off of running on brake clean. So I know that section of it is goodish. Yeah, so I know that works. That being said, I would like to see about adding a primer line. Somebody tapped the tank for a primer line, but I don't really like the idea of using that. I'd rather just use my fuel line and then redo the primer a little bit. I've got it capped off now because the primer is in a really weird spot, so that'll probably be an after the fact deal, but as it sits, I am going to try and get a few things going here and at least get the carburetor off. The guy did say that he rebuilt it last season, but I'm not quite sure that it's really up to snuff. So we're going to start there with the carburetor because that's really the more important bit. I already did put some new fuel lines on it, so those are going to have to come off. But yeah, I think we're going to start there. So let's first things first. This is just that's a vent line back to the tank. Pull that out of here. We can how the heck does that come out of there? Well, I'm assuming that will come out of there. Get the old trusty Leatherman. It's actually a Gerber, but I'm sure somebody will piss off on that one. There it goes. And actually, it is pretty dang tight, I will say. It's a ow, that's a hard sell on that one, but that's nice. That's so you know the throttle cable is going to be good. The choke, let me grab some screwdrivers. And yeah, and we'll also take the side panel off there. Alright. off the end here. I just noticed this side piece is cracked, but that's okay. There's probably another one. There's a whole box of parts that came with this thing, like a big box of parts. It's definitely no secret that the guy that had this, despite it being a slightly rough, he cared a lot about this thing, which is nice. He had all these extra parts, all these extra things, and he did say, he's like, man, I just don't have time for this thing anymore, you know? He's like, I got a newer ice fishing sled, so that was his reasoning. He's even got a spare track for it, a bunch of other stuff that he said are mine for the taking if I want to come get them, which I suppose I probably will. So this is a Tilton carb, by the way. Not like the Walbrowers, or not like the Walbrowers are great too, but not like the Makunis. There's a bunch of other ones out there. As it goes, these are rather finicky carburetors. You know, they work kind of not, kind of a lot, kind of somewhat, but they definitely could be better. Why's my garage door all the way open on this? The seat pull out? Sorry, I just noticed something. Might have to go look at here in a minute. So we'll do that. See if we can get down there and do that. The good news, and why I haven't pulled this dash off quite yet, because I'm not too worried if I fuck something up. So, but these OMC opposed twin cylinders are supposedly pretty interesting because they hit at the same time. So instead of just being like one cylinder and another cylinder, they both just kind of pop off all at once, which is an interesting way to be for an engine, that's for sure. So, yeah, what size is that? Looks like wow, somebody really nut fucked those things. Those, I mean, it's hard to see for you guys probably, but the nuts in there are just absolutely jacked up. Somebody got the 100-pound gorilla on that one. So, guessing it's gonna be 9/16. Yep, 9/16. A couple. Good news is the back one isn't tight. Okay, so yeah, that should come off of there pretty easily. A lot of times you pull the dash off of this, which this one is going to come off anyhow because I have a new one. Still not quite warm in here yet. And see my old breath and shit, it's still freezing. Actually, I'm going to check that part there. I feel like that's just to get on there. So, and then this whole side piece, how does that come off there? Oh, it's like integrated. Wow, that's going to be a major bitch. Okay, well, let's, how am I going to do that? There it is. The front one is easy to figure out. It's the rear one that's going to be really working in the dark. They didn't put this in a great spot. I wish you could get a Mikuni in here, and I know some people are going to bitch and moan and say Tillotson are the greatest things ever made. They're really not. They're not the worst things ever made, but there are better motors out there. Or better carburetors, I'm sorry. There we go. Now you gotta get to... Yep. Just got my nut off on my Johnson. Okay. Go. Perfect. Just to the floor. Just drop that wherever you please. That'll be good. Yeah. Okay. Gasket has fallen out of there. Real question. How the hell... Looks like this... Yeah, I think I gotta pull this whole... Guessing is the recoil and shit I'll have to come off of here too? Might have to. Yeah, I bet it does. God, my Johnson's cold as... Oh, that's why somebody's got a bigger bolt. Different size bolts in my Johnson. That bottom one, 1/2 inch. These other two are 7/16, but I'm betting the bottom one's 1/2. We're adults. We have power. There we go. There's the fuel line off of there. And with a little bit of wiggle magic, one carbon rotator out of there. Yeah, that gasket's a little rough, but let's yeah, there's that. Okay, so this is not a great stand for you guys, but you'll be able to see what I'm doing. These are not awesome carburetors. I've never really been a super big fan of them. Some of them have their own internal pumps, some of them don't. This one is not one of the ones with an internal pump. Anyways, there's a couple things on this that we've got to remember. Well, I don't think there's something right there. Anyways, let's we'll pull this apart real quick and see what we can see. I do have a rebuild kit coming, but I'm trying to be lazy. I'm not sure it's going to work from here. Off of here. Hopefully this gasket doesn't explode on me. Oh. Yeah, that kind of saved me there. So. Okay, so hard to see in this probably because I'm in the way. Your needle and seat in here, there's a spring, you can't lose that. So be very gentle. There's like a little, ooh, I might need a tighter screwdriver than that. I don't know if I have one. There we go. Anyways, there's a spring in here. This little screw right here. That sucks. I have to do this. At least that comes up and out. And we can pull our little arm out. Set that there. We do not want to lose that spring. Those are super duper hard to come by. Okay, let's pull this knee out. Get this seat out of here. I have this weird inclination that this is, yeah. That's sealing pretty tight. Not super tight, could be better, but I'm not super sure on some of this. I gotta do some research. Okay, so after a little bit of research, I just want to make sure I was right. Yeah, that's nasty, and that's I believe that's the high speed, and that'll be the low speed in there. So check. Okay, so we really don't want to hurt any of the things underneath here, but we want to just go. Very little pressure. And pop them out. Perfect. That's all we want. Take a lot to get them out of there. There you go. Oh, those are nasty. Okay. Here's the other one. Oh yeah, that is just gross in there. All right. Now there's a little. I'm falling off my chair. There's some metal shavings in there, but yeah, that's just. That would be why. Well, there's a couple fine ports in there. There's a check valve in there. You should probably see if it even moves. Yeah, she's. Whew. That's the rough. Yeah. It kind of sounds like it moves. Hard to really tell. So. Either way, well, I think what's going to happen actually now is I'm going to take a lot of this stuff and I'm going to take it right on over to the old carb bath there. See if I don't know if I got any chemical shit. Yeah, take her onto a carb bath and clean her up, and yeah, she's pretty filthy. Okay, carburetor is back from the old dip in the sauce. So. We're going to need to spray that off with some Berryman's, with some good old-fashioned carb cleaner. And we'll get some passage cleaned out. Do all the fun stuff. Make sure that's clean. So it's really hard to tell. There's a check valve in here, I know, and that needs to be working. And you want to hear that kind of shaking. Good full fuel. Oh, fuck, right in my eyes. Oh, god damn. Oh, boys. Oh. Woo-hoo-hoo. Yep, that Behrman's is some pretty neat shit. Oh, fuck. Oh, god damn it. Okay, so, move some stuff around here. We've got this pretty well cleaned up. Everything moves free, works free. Now we have to replace these two plugs. We've blown chem cleaner through all of this pretty well and got as much as we can. So those plugs are what we call a Welch plug. There's really not a ton you can do, right? You've got to remove them. Excuse me, I've got a bunch of change in my pocket along with everything else. But I do have a couple sets of Welch plugs here. And I was able to get these from an old school guy in town that runs the old small engine repair shop. So the Welch plugs themselves are kind of hard to see, but they're convex on one side, concave on the other, little dishes. What happens is you'll sit these in here, right? They don't need any sort of glue or anything to hold them in, but you put them in, you give them a good little tap, and then what you do is you punch them down in the center. And when you punch them down in the center, they go flat and they expand like this one does and get plugged in there pretty good. So I'm going to find a punch and a nice little hammer, and we're going to install these Welch plugs. Okay, these don't need to be incredibly hard pressed in there or anything like that. We just want to make sure. Actually, what we need to do probably here is grab just a tether, a paper here, and see if we can do that. This one. These boards are just brittle. I hate to do all this work in the factory, Just want to make sure there's no gunk. Run maybe seam off. Okay, so. Just a little bit of that. I'll clear on that. Okay. So, stuff here. Okay. So these Welch plugs here just get installed pretty easy. So you set them in there, and it don't take much. Nice little punch over the top. Okay. Not coming out of there. Okay. Do the other one here. Okay, so Welch plugs installed. We can probably reassemble this and see if it'll work. I do have a rebuild kit still coming, but hell with it. Ooh, you know what though? I do know what might work. Okay, let's see if this works. I played with some mixtures for a little bit, but
Yeah, baby, let's go ride some Johnson! Alright, POV, you're riding my Johnson, baby! Alrighty.
So, I think we're ready to rip. I feel like I got her fairly well tuned up. I had some issues. And yeah, anyways, these Tillotsons are kind of a pain in the butt. I don't know if there's any real good or bad way to tune them. But yeah, let's go for a rip ski. Also, it's very hard to tell, but this is 100% an earplugs machine. It is stupid loud.
Thanks for riding on my Johnson with me. That was a lot of fun. I had a good time. I hope you did too.